This is a production based on the theoretical concepts of leadership and conflict management, written and produced by Allison Cobb, Emily Grove, and Ashley Pendergrass. When organizations and companies encounter conflict, leaders have a choice between two approaches to address the issue: traditional problem solving and appreciative inquiry. Since the 1930s, traditional problem solving is a method that is readily practiced to resolve conflict. It begins with seeking out a problem and recognizing it within a company or organization. Step 2 involves identifying the causes of the conflict, followed by drawing conclusions and making a diagnosis of the situation. After suggesting alternative solutions, an action plan is developed and enacted to resolve the conflict. However, an alternative method to traditional problem solving, called appreciative inquiry, seeks to do the opposite. Instead of focusing on an organization's weaknesses, appreciative inquiry focuses on previous time periods of success. As Cooperrider, Whitney, and Stavros point out in the Appreciative Inquiry Handbook, appreciative inquiry perceives challenges and setbacks in a more positive and affirming light than traditional problem solving. By definition, appreciative inquiry is the art of asking powerful questions. This method is all about placing a positive spin on problems. As laid out by Cooperrider, Whitney, and Stavros in their Appreciative Inquiry Handbook, this process involves a series of steps. Step 1, appreciating and valuing the best of what is through methods such as employee interviews. Step 2, envisioning what might be. Step 3, dialoguing what should be. And Step 4, innovating what will be. Note, this process adopts a very futuristic perspective when addressing conflict. To contrast with appreciative inquiry, the following clip features the basic tenets of how the traditional problem-solving method addresses conflict by a deficit approach. Allison and Sarah are co-workers at Exxon who are experiencing relational conflict on the job. Ashley, their supervisor, will use the traditional problem-solving method to address and solve the issue.
So here's something that I've drawn up and we're kind of going to kind of discuss together.
Okay.
So you can look at that. But first off, why are you having a problem with Sarah right now? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I mean, you don't understand. I can no longer work with her. When she works on this assignment, it's supposed to be completed on team effort, but she's unwilling to hear out my opinion, and she doesn't approach things in the correct manner. She only does her work to compliment herself and not necessarily mine when I'm her team member, and that's not how it should be.
I'd now like to introduce you to the concept of the 4D cycle within appreciative inquiry. What exactly is the 4D cycle, you may ask? This cycle can be used as a tool in order to navigate through a series of steps to help an organization identify its positive core and then to achieve its operational goals. These 4 steps include the discovery phase, the dream phase, the design phase, and lastly, the delivery and destiny phase. Let's take a closer look at what each of these steps entail. In the discovery phase, participants reflect on periods of success and achievement or positive experiences about what has been done right. This includes identifying the factors that led to this period or moments of excellence. As a leader, you must conduct an inquiry into the topic by asking powerful questions and then gathering data, for example, gathering your stories and analyzing them. Take a look at this clip to see how the situation would have been handled thus far if the supervisor had used appreciative inquiry.
Think of a time when Sarah actually did something well and something positive that contributed to the success of this company.
Oh, wow. I haven't actually thought about it that way. I guess, she does show up to work about 30 minutes before everyone else. I have noticed that. As well, she seems to get along well with everybody. She's very well liked.
Good. So why do you think she makes it a priority to come up early, and why do you think she's able to get along with your coworkers?
If I had to make an educated guess, I would say she probably gets here early to be prepared for her day. That's a good.
Notice how this was different from traditional problem solving, because through the open-ended questions of appreciative inquiry, Allison is forced to focus on the positive rather than the negative. The next step in our 4D cycle is the dream phase. Here we have to ask ourselves, what would our best look like? The leader must take the discoveries found in their inquiry and use it to construct a vision that the organization can share. This should be a simple, solid statement that reflects the vision of achievement. Let's see how this would look.
Take a look at what I just gave to you right when you walked in. It kind of gives a proposal of how we're going to address this issue. Because the bottom line is that we're going to help improve that relationship between you and Sarah, so that way you guys can be a more productive team, especially by the start of the next term.
Like Roddy and Perry say, that was a single solid statement that reflects the vision of achievement. For Allison, this is going to be both achievable and challenging. This brings us to the design phase. In this step, it's all about the planning. Identify what processes and procedures need to be enacted in order to make this dream a reality. Take note in this clip the way in which Ashley generates a plan with a set procedure that will bring Allison and Sarah together.
Every Wednesday, you and Sarah are going to meet up, have a meeting together, and you're going to figure out what needs still to be done for the remainder of the week and how you're going to divide up that remaining workload.
These are the actions we now plan to implement to make our dream come alive for our last step, the delivery and destiny phase. We see our leaders attempt to both enact and pursue the dream. In order to do this, people within the organization take on their own propositions, roles and responsibilities are designated, strategies are created, and resources are mobilized. Watch as Ashley comes up with a clear-cut way to get everyone on the same page and ensure relational success between the two coworkers.
After you two guys have your Wednesday meetings in which you discuss the upcoming week's workload, I'm going to be checking in periodically to make sure that A, you are regularly meeting up, and B, that you guys are properly dividing up the workload so I can double check, make sure you guys are on the right track towards success. And after these Wednesday meetings, I want you guys to work together on drawing up an agenda and turning that report into me.
From this, Allison will take what she has been told and work towards the dream. Keep in mind, appreciative inquiry is a cycle, and therefore will start over again as people discover new information, strengths, and viewpoints through this entire process. We hope you can now effectively understand the reasoning behind choosing appreciative inquiry as a problem-solving mechanism. Thanks again for watching.